Harvey Elliot, Jack Grealish, the transfer news is hotting up for West Ham. Finally, we're getting some juicy news to talk about. Apparently, West Ham are looking to advance talks with Liverpool over a deal for Harvey Elliot with Liverpool, which I think could be a very, very good signing. Not someone the Liverpool fans want to see go, but might have to be done just because of the lack of playing time that he'll probably get there with the stacked squad that they've got. And Jack Grealish, another player that sort of looks to be out in the cold at Man City, looking at less playing time. And West Ham are exploring the possibility of a loan deal with Man City. Apparently, we've made contact to see about the options for that loan deal. Big news. I mean, two signings. If we could pull them off, pull one of them off, pull both of them off, it could be big for West Ham. Harvey Elliott, more of a young, bright talent for the future, definitely. Really skillful player. With Grealish, we know what he can do. Tried, tested, proven in the Premier League, quality player. Yes, someone says he's on big wages. This is why the deal with Man City is going to be very critical. I think Man City will be open to loaning him out. It all comes down to how much of his wages that they're willing to cover. It's a crazy wage. Apparently, Grealish is keen to join West Ham, which is a big deal. Everton are said to be interested as well. Hopefully, he'd like to come to West Ham. The law of London and all of that stuff will help us get him over the line. But it's all going to depend because I think he's on like 300 grand a week, 250 a week, something insane. I mean, they signed him for like 100 million, remember, at the time. Huge transfer fee they paid for him. So if we can go now and get this loan deal, I think we've got a good relationship with Man City, which I think is going to be key here in trying to get a favorable deal. I think it makes sense for them to try to get Grealish out and get him some playing time, to get him in the shop window. I mean, he's going to be in the shop window generally, but I think right now, more clubs are going to be wanting to loan him than sign him. And if we get a deal, highest English earner ever, apparently Grealish is. Yeah, it's mad. I mean, Grealish is going to have to be realistic. He's going to need to take a wage cut if he's leaving Man City. When he leaves Man City, he's going to have to take a wage cut. There's no two ways about it. It just depends on how much he wants to play football, how much he wants to play in the best league in the world and not go off to Saudi if they come into him and just pay him silly money. I can't see him wanting to go Saudi. I mean, he's a bit of a pisshead. He likes a drink. He likes to party. He ain't going to no Saudi. That's for sure. So if we can get him, I think he'd be happy in London, be happy coming to West Ham, and I think he contributes massively. He is a player that you hate him when he plays against you. I've hated Jack Grealish for years. However, I cannot deny his talent. I cannot deny his ability. And with West Ham, I think he'll be quality. And this is the thing, right? The difference between a Jack Grealish at Man City, who's been decent overall for the price they paid. I think he borderlines on a flop. I don't think he's lived up to the price tag. However, he's playing against teams that will generally go defensive against Man City. Teams that will play in more of a low block. He's going to get more space playing for West Ham. Right? Teams are going to be a little bit more open against us. So we're going to start to potentially see the Grealish we saw at Aston Villa. So that presents some really exciting possibilities of what he could do at West Ham and that want to prove himself. That's what he's going to have that desire to do, to come, play football, potentially play week in, week out, and show what he can do, express himself again. You know, the prospect of having a Grealish on the left with Bowen on the right. You know, the thing is, it's two sort of similar-ish wingers. I'm not saying they're similar players, but players that aren't your typical out-and-out wingers. Bomb it down the byline, get crosses in. They're very sort of skillful. Billy Grealish is more skillful, but wingers that like to cut inside and things like that. So yeah, Dad's Our Job says he's got the trophies now. He focuses on the football. He's got the listen. He's got the trophies. He's got the money. He's made crazy money. Now play football. Play football, Grealish. And the fact that he's keen to join is good. He knows we're never going to be able to afford to pay him his wages. I think this season he takes a loan to West Ham. We pay part of his wages. We'd probably pay him like 150. I think we'd pay him between 150, 170. That's kind of our ballpark, which is a massive wage cut, but it's still a lot of money. And he's made a lot of money. But if we're willing to say pay 150, let me get a confirmation exactly what his wages are. We'll talk about Harvey Elliot as well, which is another exciting one, another exciting young player. Wages, Jack Grealish weekly. Let's just get that up real quick and then see what he's earning. 300 grand a week. So we could pay half. Yeah, as Billy says, we could potentially pay half. I could see us agreeing to pay half. We pay half, Man City pay half. They get 150 grand a week off their wage book. They get a player that I think, could potentially really get some teams interested. If he comes to West Ham and he has a brilliant season, of course, we're going to want to keep him. But then they start to get bidding wars. Now, his contract runs out in 2027, apparently. So he'll be in the final year of his contract next year. So it is key for them to get some money back. I mean, they're loaded. So maybe they're not desperate, but I think they'd rather do that than let him go for free. So I think it's a win-win deal. Grealish on loan to West Ham. We should really be pushing that. Apparently, Potter likes the idea of it. He likes Grealish. Oh, yes, we'll also talk about Kyle Walker-Peters. Apparently, that could be the next signing West Ham make. Forgot about that. Yeah, I think Elliot in that central role could be really good for us as well. I would like to see us get both. Maybe Grealish on the left, Elliot in the middle, Bowen on the right. That's quite an exciting attack there. Behind Fulkrug and whatever other striker we go and get now. But we have the ability then to really increase the creative output for this team. That we struggled with creativity massively last season. And with those players, we massively increased that. So I like that. And we're adding goals and all that sort of thing, right? It's good. And competition. Yeah, I agree. We need to increase the physicality in midfield. We're also linked with Tyler Morton, who's, sort of a well thought of rated DM / centre midfielder. Been on loan at Hull, had a fairly successful loan spell, but just not really got enough time and opportunities at Liverpool. I think he's only had like 2 appearances for Liverpool's first team. And he's been out on loan. He's 22 years old, so they're going to want to cash it. He's not going to make it. So it's an option for us at defensive midfield. Younger, a little bit more physical, quicker, that sort of thing. That's Our Job says CM, yeah, whichever position that he's looking at, we do need legs in that area. So that's key. Kyle Walker-Peters is said to be quite close. Apparently, Potter's had a change of heart, didn't initially want him. It's a Sullivan signing. Sullivan wants Kyle Walker-Peters. For some reason, he's rated him. We was quoted at 25 million. We were going to get Kyle Walker-Peters before we got Aaron Wan-Bissaka. And Southampton, after we sold them Flynn Downs for like 20, they was like, no, we want 25 to 30 million for Kyle Walker-Peters. Now we have the potential of getting him on a free. It's all nonsense. Why is it? It's all news. It's just news. We don't know that usual suspect, is there? There's no smoke without fire, and all this news, it makes sense. Now, it might not happen. We don't know, but we're speculating here. That's the fun of the transfer window. But yeah, we could potentially get a player that we was quoted 25 to 30 million for free. as a backup option for both sides, I'm happy with Kyle Walker-Peters. I'm happy with him. We are going to lose Wan-Bissaka and Diouf to the African Cup of Nations in January. We need cover there. It said that Emerson has not travelled with the club to Germany. He's stayed in the UK. His move is going to be imminent. They're just waiting for a bid. He will not be here next season. I'm pretty confident. So we need that cover in someone like a Kyle Walker-Peters, who is, gonna not be going to no African Cup of Nations, who's going to be available. And then obviously Skulls is going to be the backup left back, it seems, unless we go and sign another one. So, yeah, I'm not mad at it. Obviously, I'm skeptical because Sullivan's the one pushing for it, not Potter. But if Potter and McCauley have really had a change of heart and go, do you know what? As cover, I'm happy with Kyle Walker-Peters. I think he's perfect. Like, we was looking at him before as a starter. Now we're looking at him as a backup on a free, and he's turned down more money in Turkey to stay and play in the Premier League. He wants to play for West Ham. I'm happy with that. So, like, if you look at a window, say, look, this is Dreamland, right? We're all in Dreamland. It's transfer talk. But, like, we got Diouf. We get Harvey Elliot over the line. We get Grealish on loan, and we get Kyle Walker-Peters as a backup. I'm looking, at least, okay, we get a couple midfielders in and a striker. And then I'm happy, right? Depending on who they are. That's what I'm looking at. So, yeah, I mean, and Elliot, I think, would be key. Obviously, Forest are also interested in Harvey Elliot. I reckon we're looking at probably around 40 million to get him. Maybe the allure of European football. We don't know where Forest are playing yet, if it's confirmed. They're said to be playing in Europa League, but Palace are lodging an appeal. So they could be playing, if that appeals won, in the Conference League. Maybe that's not enough to convince him not to come back to London and play for West Ham. So, yeah, we have options there. Like I said, I'm excited about the prospect of Grealish. I know some people don't want him. I just think we will see, the best of Grealish here. And I think there is a chance. You say there's not a chance we get Grealish. I think there is a chance. Like I said, if the reports are true that he's keen to come, and I think he would be keen. It's a loan deal. I don't see why not. I don't see, like, loads of other clubs. Like, if say, I don't know, somewhat, like a Man United. No, they wouldn't do business with Man United or Liverpool, but a Chelsea or someone in a much better position than us, even Newcastle, for example. Yeah, okay. There's that thing. He won't go back to Villa. There's too much water under the bridge, I think, between Villa fans and Grealish. I think that bridge has sort of been burnt. They booed him every chance they could get when they played against Man City. So I can't see him going back there. I think we're in a great position. I'd rather Rashford than Grealish. I like Rashford there's a lot of baggage. I think Rashford brings a lot of baggage. I think Grealish at West Ham would be it. Grealish plus London equals parties. You love a drink. That would be a disaster. The thing is, we've had a lot of players that love a drink. Obviously, Andy Carroll and that players used to do that, like back in the day. You hear the stories from Nolan. We did them on the channel, and James Collins and all them lads love to drink. Nobes, all them players had loved a good old drink. So yeah, and on a loan deal, if it's not an obligation to buy but an option to buy, then I'm happy with that, because obviously we have to negotiate with Grealish as well on a wage. So an option to buy with Grealish for a season, I'm happy to take that risk. Yeah. I mean, the list goes on. So yeah, and then striker, we haven't actually been linked with any strikers yet. That's something we really need to be looking at, because I'm hearing they're still assessing Antonio to see if they're going to give him a new deal. But I don't care. Like, if they bring back Antonio and Fulkrug, sorry, that's not our striking options. I haven't heard anything about an alternative to Fulkrug. So, yeah, After this, I want to see some midfielders. But these are the deals you got to jump on early. Grealish, you want to inquire about that, get that done. Everton are, like I said to be interested. So we'll be competing with Everton. I think he joins West Ham over Everton. And I think, like I said, he will be a very, very good player for us. I think it'll be a good signing. We've seen what he can do before. We will get the Villa Jack Grealish. Mark my words. If we get this deal over the line, but the talks are going on right now. And like I said, Harvey Elliot, okay, he's not a big physical unit, but we mix those profiles up. As long as we do have those big physical players around him, quick physical players around Elliot, you don't need a team of giants. You don't need a team of physical beasts. You can have some of these skillful players that are a little bit smaller in the team and balance it out. And I think Elliot is someone like that. And the fact that I've spoke to a lot of my Liverpool mates, and they're like, oh, we really don't want to see him go, but they understand why he may have to go. That's the thing. So yeah, Elliot, it could happen. Like I said, it all depends on the price tag that Liverpool set. 40 million it's going to be steep with where we are this season, you know. So we're going to have to try and make something happen, big time. I just want to see us go and have a decent window and have an amazing season. Apparently, all the players are, training really well. The mood's high. Maybe Kudus was the whinge bag that was bringing the vibes down. And now he's gone. Spirits are high. Obviously, look, we'll see for ourselves. Talk is cheap. I want to see actions. I want to see performances on the pitch. I want to see what these players can do. But we have not got enough in this team. We've got nowhere near enough. So let's keep moving. Let's go and start to be ruthless in this window, as ruthless as we can with our financial restrictions. Get some sales on. Let's start shifting some of the deadwood. Let's move them on. Like I said, you can go see the start bench sell video I did on the channel, me and Nikki. I said, spoiler alert, but it's a little teaser. You go see the other ones. But with Paqueta, that's someone that's a sellable asset. Someone we could sell that I just don't think has given us enough over the past few years. I don't think he's given us enough, but I think we can still get a decent fee for him. You know, contacted not really advanced talks, but with advanced talks with Liverpool, we've contacted Man City about Grealish. So in terms of Liverpool, we've already been talking and inquiring and things like that. So apparently they're advancing the talks. Why are we playing semantics here? What is this? Scrabble? You know what I mean? You just get so bogged down with words. Shout out Randy in the chat. This should have happened a month ago. Yeah, it should have. I don't know whether it is just because of the Kudus money and now we're moving, but we still need a lot more. Yeah, we really still need a lot more in this side, and we're going to need more money. That's the key. That's the thing for me. Maybe they can pay the last loan out and take another loan. But listen, Potter and McCauley, they've got their work cut out in this transfer window. That's for sure. It's going to be a long road, and I just want to get to that transfer window feeling like we've done a good job. I'm not expecting a window like where we're all hyped, like last summer's window, which I don't care if I am hyped or I'm not. You know, with last summer's window, we were so hyped and it became so shit. So even if we get a load of players in and I'm like, I don't know how it's going to turn out, then I'm fine. But I just don't want to see us left short. The midfield cannot stay as it is. No way. We could easily afford half of Grealish's wages. Easily. We can afford 150 grand a week. We've got bloody loads of players on, like Antonio was on over 100 grand a week. Danny Ings was 120 grand a week. And we've let him go. Paqueta, if we sell him, I think is on like 150. Like, we've got and had players on these high wages. We've cleared a lot of money off the wage books. We can afford to pay Grealish 150 grand a week. You know? How can you have no money one week and talk about Elliot and Grealish the next? Because we just sold Kudus for 54 million. I think that's part of it. You know, that's obviously what's sprung it. Or Sullivan was lying. I don't know. Or a bit of both. Yeah, it's Grealish 100k plus unlimited club access. Yeah, give him a free bar. Give him access to the lounge, the players' lounge, whatever. Free bar, Grealish. Just join. I don't know. We'll have just a Grealish that's pissed up 24/7. Maybe he's like Drunken Master. Do you remember like the old Kung Fu movies, Drunken Master, when he like fights better when he's pissed? Like he gets pissed and he's just like, this is an amazing fighter. Spent money on rubbish players last summer. I hope you learned from that, Lawless. I hope we learned from that. But now it's Macaulay and Potter. Although Sullivan, this is what I don't like. I'm not against the Carl Walker-Peters backup option signing. However, I don't like the idea that Sullivan is sticking his oar in and making suggestions. Even if Potter's gone, well, do you know what? Actually, you know, he's decent. I'll take him. Actually, I've changed my mind. Even if he changes, the fact that Sullivan should not be pushing for anyone. He needs to keep his nose out of it completely. I don't care if Carl Walker-Peters signs and becomes the bollocks, right? I do not want Sullivan involved at all. Yep, Spuds, mate. Tobes, yeah, happy with Judas. A lot of them are happy with Judas, and I hope it comes back to bite them. And do I think we will get positions filled? I think we'll probably still come up short by the time the window closes. I think we'll get some of the positions filled, but I think we'll feel like we didn't get everything we need. I think we're going to be short in some areas. Wouldn't surprise me if we're short in striker again. I'm so sick of that position. I am so sick of that position. Really am. Is Dewsbury Hall gettable? I think that's a tough deal. That's a tough deal, Dewsbury Hall. I don't think Chelsea are like itching to sell him, and I don't think he's itching to leave. So, come on, guys, stop calling him Judas for Christ's sake. Come on, it's just banter. It's just banter, Nana. That's all it is. It's just a little bit of banter, all right? You know. Do you guys really think Füllkrug is going to be good next season? I have no doubt Füllkrug will be good. What I do doubt is if he'll be fit. That's my doubt on Füllkrug. I don't know. Like I said, I can't say. That's why I need to see us sign a younger, fitter striker. It's a big, big risk going in with just Füllkrug and then the option of putting Bowen up top. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see Bowen play up top anymore. There's no reason for it. Keep him in his best position. Stop putting him up front. He's like around my height, and I've seen us lump long balls up to him and tried to get him hold up the ball and all that stuff. It don't work. It don't work. So get the striker in. I don't care who it is. I mean, I do care to a degree, but you know what I mean? I'll if Potter goes and finds someone from the Norwegian league or the Dutch league or the flipping Bermudan league, I will go, do you know what? I'll trust it. Let's see what he's cooking. Let's see that. All right? Go and do your scouting. Go and find Isak before he becomes Isak. Before he becomes a £150 million player when he's playing in the Swedish league or whatever. That's what we need to do. That's what we need to go out and do, is find these gems. You've got all this data approach that Carl Macaulay's doing. Use that data. Go out and get these gems before they become superstars. I know it's easier said than done, but get paid a lot of money. We need to do that this season. We can't go out and get the established names that everyone wants. It's going to be hard. It's going to be very hard. But yeah, the youth, I think, is going to be a good player for us. I think he's going to be exactly what we need. I think he'll really develop well. I'm excited about that. Let's try and start to get more names in. We've got how long till the season starts? Is it about a month? First game of the season? A little under a month, right? A little, like, say 3 weeks. Let's say 3 weeks till the season starts. If we go into the Sunderland game with this team, I think we're losing. I think we're losing because of, I mean, Somerville won't even be ready yet. The midfield is still in shambles. I honestly think we would be looking for a hiding, and then we don't know who else is going to be out. Like I said, Emerson will probably be gone. Souček. I would happily keep Souček, but it wouldn't surprise me if they sold him. It really wouldn't. And if we somehow have a better window, do you have any expectations for next season depending on the window? I don't have any expectations for next season at all regarding windows. I was so happy with the window. Like, you can go back and look at my predictions last season. I was so optimistic with the business we'd done, and it blew up in my face. I don't have any expectations. In fact, I'm keeping my expectations nice and low. I mean, after that last season, it broke me. I can't get excited off a window this season. After last season, I just can't do it. I don't know about all of you, and it can be hard to not get caught up in the transfer euphoria. Do you know what I mean? Like, say we did get Grealish in. I know some don't want Grealish, but a lot do. Like, it's hard not to get excited and go, "Wow!" Like, we're gonna be some serious team. He could end up being like another bloody Calvin Phillips, which I don't think he will. But do you know what I mean? You just don't know. We could go get all these players in. Potter, I'm behind Potter. I rate Potter. I'm happy with Potter. That could change how the season progresses, but I think fans judge Potter too harshly. I really do. I think they judge him too harshly because the squad that he had, we had that little whinge bag Kudus throwing tantrums and bringing dressing room vibes down. We had, a depleted squad. We had injuries. We had an unbalanced team. We had the slowest team in the league, the oldest team in the league. He inherited all of that, Potter, and kept us up. I don't know what more people wanted from him. I'm not saying he done a brilliant job like that. Yes, there's still room for improvement. But the fact that people are like just writing him off based off of last season is mad to me. It's insane. Like, look at the context. So, yeah, Potter, I'm still behind him. Like I said, for the time being, until he gives me reason to feel like he's not the man, I'll back Potter. That's for sure. So, as far as the transfer goes, if we get Elliot in, if we get Grealish in, that's a very, very good start on top of Div. But still a lot of work to do. This is a rebuild. This is another rebuild. Last summer was supposed to be the rebuild. We need to rebuild the rebuild and start again. It's not going to all happen in this window. That's the thing. But we need to get the bare necessities. I don't know, to quote Jungle Book. Do you know what I mean? We need to get the minimum of what we need. Build that midfield up. And this is kind of what worries me is, loan aside, because it's a loan, right, of a Grealish. But say we splash 40 million Harvey Elliot, he'd probably play like attacking midfield. It could be the Paqueta replacement. We start looking at Kyle Walker. Is this a free? Okay. But we seem to be like really looking at these other positions and where is the midfield? I know we're linked with Tyler Morton, but I'm not confident. Like, he's still unproven at this level for me. So, yeah, that's the issue. That's the issue with me, is that he's untested. So I want us to get some quality in that midfield, some youth profile players, at least 2 midfielders. We cannot be seeing Ward-Prowse playing next to Souček. Please, God, no. No. I don't want to see it. I'm not here for it. I reject it. Get the midfield fixed. Apparently, Potter's come round and says and sees that we need to sort the midfield out. I mean, you don't need to go to bloody Specsavers to see that, mate. Honestly, anyone can see that. This midfield, you could see it all last season. Before he joined, you should have seen that. So next season we'll see. But listen, we're going to keep on top of it. We're going to keep on top of this, and obviously we'll be back for Friday Night Pint tomorrow. Go check out the start bench cell. See what we're thinking about this squad. You can see the players, obviously, that we think we need to get out. We need to get rid of the players that should be on the bench and upgraded on, and the ones that should stay. I was ruthless. Because I believe this squad needs to rebuild. I don't want to see anywhere near the same starting 11s we saw last season. No, thank you. So let's hope that these talks continue progressing with Elliot, and let's hope we get Grealish on loan. I know some of you don't want him, but let me know. Anyway, thank you all for watching. You guys are brilliant. One thing left to say. Come on, you irons.